Hello, everyone. We're back from a brief, almost month commercial break, but we're back and rolling with podcasts. Obviously, the whole role. I'm Matthew. This is the Soup Podcast, and today I'm here with a special guest, Alex. How you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny that you said roll twice in 5
yeah,
seconds.
yeah. That's what I like to do. I just like to repeat myself over and over again. I need to start this one off too because before we went on a hiatus, I forgot to give a rating on my sister's soup that she brought on, and I gave it a 9.3. I know you guys are probably like, man, that's a high rating, but it's ramen noodles, and I love ramen noodles. That's top 5 for me. Only thing that I'd take points off is probably like by the time we finally got to eat it, a lot of the, what would you call it? I guess like the liquid, the juice. I don't want to say the juice because that kind of the broth. That's the word. A lot of the broth was gone, but it was still a good soup. So yeah, got that out of the way, and now no more past talk. Talking about the present.
So the roll wasn't like a joke on the wheelchair thing? No? Okay.
Oh no, no, it wasn't.
I thought it was a theme, a joke.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that.
That's tough. For those at home that don't know and obviously can't see, I'm in a wheelchair, so I thought that was a fun little joke. Here I am, embarrassed now.
Whew, I was worried. Almost got myself in a bunch of trouble.
Canceled.
Need to either, yeah.
Podcast is over.
So how's the start of your semester been? This is your...
junior year, I guess you say.
Okay.
Yes, I got 2 more full years left. It's going pretty good. Pretty stressed out, honestly, because I got a lot of classes that seem like they're going to be a lot more work this semester. So hopefully they're not too bad, and I got a lot of extracurriculars and stuff to go through, so hopefully I can just balance that.
Yeah, it'll be tough, but it'll be fun too, try and balance all those things out, but...
Oh yeah, it keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what classes, you're an EMB major, right?
Yeah, I am, and a minor in journalism.
Okay. What's your kind of balance of classes with this semester?
They are all EMB classes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I decided to wait till next semester to take some journalism classes because my advisor told me that I had to get a lot of prerequisites out of the way in the EMB field. So they're all in Griffin Hall, and they're all EMB classes.
Oh, that's pretty good. I got all but 2 communications classes. One's a journalism, and so I'll probably just end up doing the same thing as you, a bunch of journalism next semester. So
that'll be good.
Hopefully we'll have some classes together.
Hopefully it'll be as fun as our journalism class was last semester.
I don't know. That's tough energy to match. That
true.
Class was so fun.
Yeah, definitely none of my classes, at least so far, have been as fun as that one was last semester.
Yeah. So, talked about how you're an EMB major. What kind of got you into, into that field or interested you in that?
Well, I've always had a love for sports. It was a little different as a kid. I was really into professional wrestling, which is technically a sport. And my dad got me into that. But as I grew older, a bunch of my sister's friends introduced me to sports, mainly basketball and football. So that's something I became passionate about. So I thought, being able to talk about that for a lifestyle would be awesome. And I originally thought I wanted to be like an anchor on SportsCenter. But then I realized the play-by-play broadcasting is really the angle I want to go towards. And then I visited here because I'm originally from Lexington, Kentucky, and I felt like the UK didn't have the best broadcasting school. And when I came up here, I just loved it and loved that they have a whole building dedicated to the EMB program, Griffin Hall. And I just fell in love with it, and this is what I want to do.
Oh, that's cool. You said you liked professional wrestling. Did you have a favorite wrestler growing up?
Oh, man, that's tough. Shawn Michaels, probably.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about professional wrestling, so I mean I know like John Cena.
That's
you can't see me.
Yeah, that definitely shows our age difference right there.
I don't know. I knew Ultimate Warrior. Is that one of them, or was that a professional wrestler?
That's way back in the day. Now you're trying to call me really old. All right.
Well, I know that one because my sister's fiance Dylan, he is like a huge fan of. He's just a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. Because he had this is kind of funny because this just shows like that he's actually 5'3". He had like I'm pretty sure it was a kid's shirt.
Yeah.
That was Ultimate Warrior kid's shirt, and I think it still fit him.
That's sick.
It might have been a little tight, but He's still a dedicated fan even at 30 years old. So, you were into sports broadcasting and stuff like that. Was there something that, because, I'm a communications major, but we're kind of wanting to go into a similar, field of work with sports broadcasting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything that kind of distinguished you from, between communications or an EMB, or was it just kind of like you never really thought too much about communications and you were like, I'm on the track for EMB?
Yeah, I honestly really never thought too much about communications. And with broadcasting, I thought it would be a lot of in front of the camera things. So I thought I would get a lot of opportunities there. It has come to my attention that it's really a whole lot of behind the camera things. But that's okay because I've still got my opportunities to be in front of the camera as much as possible so far. And in just my first semester, I've got a couple opportunities already. So
Yeah.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, no doubt. That's really cool. You got that timeout coordinator. Is that what it is?
Yeah, timeout coordinator at the Truist Arena here on campus.
That's sweet.
It's just tell the referees when we're back from commercial. It's a pretty good gig. I get courtside seats and get in for free, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, you can't beat that at all. Did you have like a favorite, I guess, sports broadcasting voice growing up, whether it was, from any sport at all?
Oh man, that's tough.
I guess just you could name like your top 5 or something.
Yeah,
like
early on it was certainly Dick Vitale because I just watched a lot of basketball, and I still love him. Follow him as much as possible. I'm glad he's getting better from his cancer diagnosis and things.
Absolutely.
Jay Billis is one because he's really knowledgeable about the sport of college basketball. And the guy on Fox, his name is escaping me right now. Who does college football?
I know who you're talking about. Gus Johnson.
Gus Johnson, yep, there it is.
Yeah,
and Mike Breen right now is probably my favorite, hands down. Just because the bang is so iconic.
Absolutely. That's got to be, I don't know, I'd have to say that's probably the most like iconic line. It's got to be one of the most iconic lines for sure.
Marv Albert had the yes, and that's the only one I could think that's really close to that.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? Do you have favorite broadcasters?
Breen's up there. Gus Johnson's up there. Vitale, of course. Because it's like, I don't know, also growing up like a Wildcats fan, it's like you watch, you always heard Dickie V on there.
That's true.
And so it was like, it was hard to like not be a fan of him. That's tough. I think it's tough with Tony Romo because there's times when I really like listening to Tony Romo because he, played the game and he knows so much about it.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm like, I don't really want to listen to him anymore because
I understand that for sure.
It's just, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, 2 very, very good quarterbacks. But when neither of them are playing in a game, you have 0 reason to bring them up.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no topic. You could be, if you're talking about, I know you like the Steelers. If you're talking about Steelers-Bengals, you're broadcasting a Steelers-Bengals game, 0 correlation with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Don't bring them up. But, I mean, it's tough to beat what he can do on the broadcast because it's like he's got his, I forget what the segment's called, but they'll break down a play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of similar to what Madden used to do, except obviously, it's different technology. Madden drew on the board, showing a play, or he would draw on the, I forget what it's called, but he would draw on the screen and show how the play just went and stuff. And Romo does a pretty similar thing. And obviously, as a former quarterback, he knows a lot about defenses. But him and not Steve Nance. That's a basketball player, I think. Is it Bill Nance?
Is it Jim Nance?
Jim Nance, okay. This is one of those Nances. Yeah, Jim Nance is, I think he's really good because he's just really diverse in the fact that it's like, he'll be doing a really good football game in the NFL. And then a couple months later, he's doing, March Madness. And, like, he does so many of the tournament games that it's hard to not at least get one of them. I know he always does the national championship, and it makes the national championship that much more fun to listen to.
It's very impressive to see broadcasters that can do multiple sports.
Yeah.
Even if it is just basketball and football. But, I mean, I've seen them do plenty of different ones, so it's very entertaining. Those are the ones I have the most respect for, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what are your thoughts on Bill Walton as a broadcaster?
You know, I'll be honest. I haven't like watched a whole lot of games with him. I've seen clips. I I can remember maybe two games of listening to him, and I thought he was funny. I mean,
No, he's definitely funny.
I didn't think he was like that bad or anything. But I've seen a lot of people that they just don't like him at all.
I don't hate him, but I just know there's a reason he's on at like 10 o'clock games because he's a
That's
little wild. He's a little wild.
yeah, yeah, that's true. He's not his mind isn't always on basketball.
Yeah, I think that's the
That's a
case.
nice way of putting
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but I think that would have to be my top five. Did you have like a game that stuck in your mind, whether it was like because of Breen's announcing or anything like that, where it's like, obviously Bang is an iconic line, so maybe it was a game with him. But was there ever a game that continues to stick in your head because of a phrase or something like that from the announcer?
That's pretty easy. When LeBron came back from the 3-1 deficit against the Warriors, and you hear "blocked by James,"
Yeah,
"bang" is my favorite phrase that any broadcaster has, but "blocked by James" is just one of the most iconic things
yeah.
you could hear.
That
And I
was
think it'll last a long, long time.
Oh, no doubt. And then of course if his son ends up coming to the league, it's you gotta worry about that.
Oh yeah,
Volume
he's
two.
definitely leaving the Lakers.
Yeah, I'd have to say same thing, Mike Breen, but it's the Steph's pull up from half court
That's
in
a good one.
OKC.
Yeah,
And,
that was a double bang,
Oh yeah, that's
maybe a triple. I don't know.
I know it's at least two.
Yeah,
He got the good Mike Breen special there, but it's I don't know. It's still to that day. It's like or to this day you can like memorize that call and just be like, I remember that
yeah, for sure.
word for word. It's cool to like go through those things and be like, yeah,
I felt like that was the start of Steph's fandom too, so it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
crazy how it progressed in the start of great announcing and great basketball.
Yeah, it's kind of stunk because I've been watching so much football the past couple of years that I haven't gotten around to watch as much basketball, like NBA especially. And it's like I don't hear from Breen as much, but it's not his fault obviously. It's just like I don't watch that many games, but I watched the finals this past year and the playoffs and stuff, so it was like, all right, cool. Got to hear
Breen could be an interesting football announcer though.
That would be
Anytime somebody gets tackled, bang,
yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah.
I would love that.
There's helmet to helmet contact though. Then it's like, Mike, you can't say that stuff on the air, man. That's not gonna sound good. Yeah, he's good, no doubt, and obviously those guys who can focus on one sport are super good at their one sport. But yeah, you got to have a lot of respect for those guys who branch out and do multiple sports.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you ever watch the? I think it was All Madden. It was all about. It was like a documentary about him, and I want to say it came out like a week.
After he passed.
I think so.
Yeah, I never got around to that one. Was it good?
It was good. They talk about him in like the start of his broadcasting career, because obviously he's a Hall of Fame coach, super good coach, and he starts his broadcasting career because he got bored, and they had him do the Olympics, and he was like, I was so out of my element, I had no clue what I was talking about, and it's like obviously you don't have to be good at doing everything, but it was kind of funny to hear a guy just be super honest and be like,
Somebody so iconic be like, I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, and he was in the booth with can't think of his name now. He's pretty famous broadcaster. He does a lot of the stuff on ABC or on NBC, like a lot of the sports there. It's not Tirico, but yeah, and he was in the booth with him, and it was the start of that dude's career too. And Madden's like, I thought he was like a 15-year-old kid. He was so small, and so I had no clue why I was in the booth with this guy. But it was a good special. It was nice to watch and learn more about him.
Tirico had a nice call on that Sam Hubbard return the other day.
That was a really nice call. I think you could have turned the volume down for that, and it still would have been a nice call.
Yeah, that's true.
That was super cool play, and when I first heard people being like, "Is that the best play in Bengals history?" I was like, "All right, let's calm down a little bit. There's got to be other cool plays." But then I was like, that makes
big
postseason history
for sure.
for the longest fumble return for a touchdown. So I'm like, I think it is probably
And
the best
it
play.
may get you all back to the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So did you have, because you're a journalism minor,
Hmm.
did you have any, like, I guess, what pulled you in that direction of journalism?
Honestly, I did a lot of research on broadcasting, and I've just found out that that's how most people started. Even people like Stephen A. Smith, he was writing for a small school in, I think it was Pennsylvania. So I just knew that in order to get my foot in the door into where I wanted to be, I needed to pursue this line of work through journalism too. So I just focused on that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I was kind of like, if I can't get into sports one way, I want to get into it another way.
Right.
And it's like you get to see how some of these guys get to, travel the world, go to all these events, and
Oh, yeah.
it's cool. It's a cool job.
And it's nice sometimes to not have to be on camera all the time, so you don't, and you can take your time with what you say. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, you get to. I mean, you've experienced it
Yeah.
doing stuff with the Northerner. It's like,
it's an experience. I mean, it's a big turnaround because you get home at like 9 and you have to have an article out by 12. So it's not fun, especially since you got to sit through the game notes, the press conferences that you just recorded, and then still write an article, edit it, and then send it over, and hopefully get that all in before midnight. It's a tough turnaround, but it's fun.
yeah, it sounds like it'd be just super chaotic. I'd lose my mind. I'd be like,
The only thing I was worried about though was having to go into the press conference, especially my first time out, and having to ask about a loss. Luckily, my first game was a 3 overtime win for the Norse over Lipscomb in a women's basketball game. And we were down 9 with 1 minute left in the second overtime, and somehow we came back to win. So I was very excited to not have to ask very bad questions.
how many people were there in the press conference, post-game press conference?
There's usually the coach and 2 players, and then there's 4 or 5 reporters asking questions, and usually like 4 or 5 people doing video for post-game stuff to post on social media and things. So I'd say close to 15 once everybody's in there.
Oh, okay.
And that's another tough part of journalism, is having to speak over people because everybody's trying to ask the same questions and you want to be the first one to ask it. So,
What were some of the other reporters from? Like, what kind of
the Cincinnati Enquirer. I think there's a thing called Link, Northern Kentucky. I know they were from that, and just local newspapers.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool to get get that experience with, especially with a game like that.
Oh yeah, and to see how they prepare for it, and to see what kind of questions they ask, because I went in not knowing what questions to ask. Like, how do you feel about that win? That's a pretty basic question that you don't want to ask, because with a loss, you know how they feel. With a win, you know how they feel. So you want to ask more complex questions, and I just was not prepared for that.
Yeah. How many questions did you formulate before you went into the press conference?
You try to get like 6 to 8, and then you're probably going to end up asking maybe 2 to 3 at most. So just pick your favorite ones, or the ones you think will get the best answers, and go from there.
Well, that's cool. That's neat. Did they have any, were there any of the questions that the players got asked where it was like they had a visceral response, where maybe they didn't like the question or something?
Well, I've been fortunate enough that my only times in the journalism part for working for the Northerner have been wins. So
that's good.
That I have not had anybody get super angry. So I'm grateful for that, because that's what I thought would happen the first time, especially if we lost. I asked the question. It's my first time there, and then somebody snaps at me. I would never come back probably. So
yeah,
I'm glad that was not the case.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I probably would have put my hands over my face and just started crying.
Just started crying,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I'm a big crybaby.
Just give me a minute.
Would have been like that SpongeBob episode. I made this with my tears.
Wait, wasn't it like the sweater?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're coming back to school, after you, correct me if I'm wrong, you came here for 1 year, and then you took a little break, and now you're back. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. I started here in 2014. That's when I graduated high school, so I came in August of 2014, and it was my first experience with independence, so I just was not prepared for that. I had never been away from home for really more than a couple days, and even the first day getting to campus, I cried like a little baby as soon as my mom left, And then I just got into extracurriculars, and I couldn't handle the workload and uh, those extracurriculars. So I just had a bad balance and got homesick. So I decided it was best for me to pursue community college at home and work on my general education courses before I came back.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's always a good idea, especially, with the cost of college. It's better to
It's super
pay way
expensive.
less and get those classes that it's like, I don't know. I don't want to diss college because I'm a college student. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it's like those gen ed classes where it's like, I don't need to know anything about this.
Yeah.
Why do I have to take it? So
That's
take it.
That's one thing I was making sure that I did. It was not getting loans, so I didn't have to pay back forever. So whenever I came back, I wanted to make sure I could pay for it by myself, and luckily I'm now able to.
Well, that's good. What kind of pulled you back to school?
I was really lucky, and I don't think you'll hear this a lot, but I was really lucky to have a bad job. A job
Really?
that I did not like, so I knew I could not stay there forever. And I think that pushed me to my passion of getting back to broadcasting and trying to get into writing and journalism and all that. And I mean, I love the people I work with. I just did not love their work ethic, and I just didn't want to feel like I was stuck in that place. And also, I had a manager there for a little while who really supported me, and he was always encouraging me because my mom is somebody who's like, it's okay. College is not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all and well, and I love that. Love her to death. But there's sometimes when you need somebody to encourage you and say, you got to do better.
Yeah.
And you can do better.
Yeah.
And so I found that in a couple people and my mom as well. But this manager one day during a busy day just looked at me and said, one day you're going to be on ESPN and laugh about all this. And that just got me motivated.
Yeah.
I needed to prove him right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to hear that because, a lot of people will kind of, they'll be like, oh, I'm going to take a break or I'm just going to take this year off. And then they kind of get into a funk where, everyone's got their own paths. So I'm not going to sit here and say you're doing the wrong thing by not coming back.
Right.
But everyone's got their own paths. So, but some of these people, they want to come back, but they just kind of get into that funk of, oh, I'll do it, next month or I'll do it next year when the next semester starts. But it's good to know that, you're back here. Obviously, I'm glad you're back here. Got to meet you and hang out with you. And started great broadcasting club with basketball, and there's obviously a lot more to come.
And like you said, it's very easy to get into that feeling of, I'll do it the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it next semester. Because, the job paid very well. That's probably why I stayed so long, honestly. So you get to making money and having your own money and just not having any stress with, like, school or anything. So it gets to be pretty easy once you're out of work. So you get so used to that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's good to hear that, because there's probably people listening, that could potentially be listening, and they just needed that little kick in the butt, like you said, that.
Oh, yeah, you can make it back. If you're in the same situation that I am, there is a way back. It doesn't matter how old you are. Nobody's path is linear.
Yeah,
so as long as education is wealth. So if you have a degree, you're going to get a lot better paying job and just have the opportunities that you wouldn't have without it. So college is really not for everybody, but if you feel it is for you and you really could get through it, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. So you said you grew up in Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of, what in the, whether it's now or the first time you were here, pulled you to NKU? Because, that's almost 2-hour drive.
I really don't remember what made me initially hear about NKU, but once I got here, I just loved the campus, and I like that it's a small town, Highland Heights is, where NKU is, but there is a big city close in Cincinnati that I can go to if I want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Newport, too, which has a whole bunch of stuff to do. And I think I just got a little tired of Lexington and the same old things. And like I said, I never had independence before, so the first time when I came here, it was really like I'd like to get away from home
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of do my own thing for once. And that's initially why I came, but coming back, it's just the best place for me to be because I'm near everything, and I can have things to do when I want to, but I can relax and be in a calm town when I don't want to do anything.
Did you ever consider going anywhere else when you were coming back to NKU? Is there any other schools that you were thinking about?
Even initially coming, there were really no other schools, so definitely not when I was coming back because I promised my friends that I made during the 2014-2015 year that I would come back and I would graduate. It took me a little longer than I expected, but I'm going to get it done.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, man. That's a big step.
I appreciate it.
In everything, in life, in school, anything like that. But it's crazy what that piece of paper that says you graduated college can do for you financially. So we just finished Wild Card Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on any of it? Was there any specific game that stuck out to you the most?
The Bengals-Ravens game was very interesting. I expected the Bengals to blow out the Ravens, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I did too.
And it makes it very interesting when we're getting into this contract talk with Lamar Jackson because Tyler Huntley is, if we're being honest, probably the best backup there is in the NFL. So if he can stay healthy, because he's had a lot of injuries like Lamar, if he can stay healthy, they may not have to pay him. I think it would be dumb for them not to. But I think that's something that this wild card weekend made very apparent that they could win some games even if they don't have them, as long as they have a very strong defense like they do right now.
Yeah, that defense is unreal. I mean, you got lockdown corners with Humphrey and Marcus Peters. I'm not a huge Marcus Peters fan. He plays tough, so I can't blame him. But you got that, and then you got a good defensive line with Owe and there's other key pieces on there. You got, Roquan Smith, who's probably top 5 linebacker in the league.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if you saw.
Is there anything that stuck out to you?
Pretty similar thing. Obviously the biggest game of the weekend was the Bengals game because I'm a Bengals fan, and I did expect there to be more of a blowout, but I look at it from a Bengals perspective, and I'm like, I think about last year, how it's almost like wild card game went similar script for us. You play a team that you probably should blow out, and it's a really close game. You kind of have a semi-boring offense most of the game.
Yeah.
And you just tried to, just squeak by. And it's gone the same exact way last 2 wild card games we played. So it's kind of like I see a lot of people being like, oh, they're not going to last. And maybe they won't. Maybe we'll lose to Buffalo this weekend.
It's going to be a great game.
It is going to be a really good game. But I think the defining factor between this year and last year is just the fact that we have a better record this year. And it's obviously with a better record, you have more expectations, and they expect you to win those wild card games like by 20.
Easily, yeah.
But it's like still, same team. And it's not like the Ravens were a pushover team, with or without Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a team you got to take serious, a defense you got to take serious. But yeah, I was expecting a little bit more from the offense, and that kind of worries me. But at the same time, it's like, there's not much you can do to.
The offensive line has to allow him time to pass, and that's looking like it's going to be another issue.
Yeah, that worries me too because, number one, I mean, you still got Ted Karras and Cordell Volson, two good starters. But then it's like after that, the decline is, and I don't say decline as in like not saying these guys aren't good,
right?
But
they're still playing professional football.
they're still making a whole lot more money than me because they're way better athletes than me. But I saw I can't remember if it was Ryan Clark. It was some ESPN analyst, and they said these guys are backups for a reason. They're not starting, so obviously there is a skill gap between those two. And it worries me because you don't want to go into it, expecting the same. You don't want to game plan like you have the same offensive line that you had,
right?
at the start of the season where all these guys are healthy and stuff like that because we're out Kappa. Obviously, Collins isn't coming back because he tore his MCL,
Yeah.
I want to say. And then Jonah Williams just went out this past week. So it's like you just got to take what you got. And like I was telling you, it's not that we have the same offensive line as last year, but, similar storyline. Going into the divisional round with a not very weak offensive line, but a weaker offensive line than we're used to. And I would just try and go with a similar game plan. Joe's got to get the ball out quick, which he's done a better job of this year. But you don't have this beefy wall that's going to keep the defense from getting through all the time.
It helps when you have probably the best wide receiver trio in all of football. So
yeah, that is huge. And I hope Joe can take his eyes off of Jamar sometimes and realize, you still got 2 number 1 options.
He does love to pass to him, that's for sure.
Yeah, which is tough. I'd love to pass to Jamar, too. It'd make my job a whole lot easier.
One more thing, one small thing that I noticed from this wild card weekend is the Harbaughs cannot time manage.
No.
Michigan, it was a problem in the college football playoff, and the Ravens should have called a timeout when there was a minute left, but they decided against it and then had 30 seconds left to basically go the rest of the way.
Run like 3 downs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like, not that I think John Harbaugh needs to get a bunch of crap, but it's like I feel like a lot of people give him a pass,
Oh, for sure.
Because it's like, well, he's won a Super Bowl before. But it's like, okay.
Yeah, what have you done lately?
Bill Belichick's won like 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't see people giving him crap, or I do see people giving him crap because it's like these Patriots aren't performing like we're used to the Patriots.
Mike Tomlin's won 2, and they still give him crap all the time.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they started to make the narrative of Harbaugh being on the hot seat, because it's just like, I don't know. It's with Lamar leaving, which I think he will.
I do too, and I think that'll, like you were probably about to say, it will add to the narrative of Harbaugh needs to go.
Yep.
I think that'll come a lot quicker if Lamar leaves.
It's just going to be not clearing house like you're rebuilding, but clearing house in the sense of, get out your head coach. They just fired their offensive coordinator today.
I did not hear that.
Yeah. They, I don't know. It seems like the defensive coordinator turned it around, but also adding Roquan Smith to a defense can turn it around single-handedly.
For sure, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing, because I think that franchise could get worse before it gets better.
I definitely think you're right. And it's tough to see all these offensive coordinators getting fired before the Steelers one does. But that's okay.
They said today that I saw something today that said you guys are sticking with them.
Oh, yeah, we're sticking by them. Tried and true.
Love that offense. Fun to watch.
It's 2-yard passes every time. It'll get the job done.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe you guys will go crazy this year. Maybe you'll get 4-yard passes every time instead of 2-yard passes.
That'll be sick. I'd be so excited.
So what do you think about the Jaguars game?
The Jaguars did surprise me. I mean, like we talked about already, the Chargers were without Mike Williams, which is something that prevents the Chargers from just keeping the gas on.
Mm-hmm.
And but the Jaguars look tough. Trevor Lawrence was labeled a bust, I feel like, a little too early.
Yeah.
And he's got a great team around him and a great coach, so I think they can make some moves right now and make some moves in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that receiving core is just like, not like it's interstellar, but that's a very, very solid receiving core.
Oh, for sure.
And then next year you're bringing in Calvin Ridley when he comes back from suspension. Granted, he doesn't gamble again this whole season.
If he comes back, yeah.
And then I don't know. I was talking to one of my friends. He was talking about that the Jaguars should think about trying to get D-Hop. Which I was
That'd be very interesting.
Not easy, but it's like you got to think you're a rebuilding franchise. You got picks.
I feel like in the NFL, it's a lot easier to get star players in trades than it is, especially in the NBA.
Yeah.
If we're comparing those, but like Roquan Smith, I feel like it was just a couple first-round picks or something like that, and they got him. So that's nothing for a star player like that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be cool. I like DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's super fun receiver to watch.
And he deserves a great quarterback.
Yep.
Like Larry Fitzgerald didn't have a great quarterback for most of his career, and that was just sad to see.
Yeah, it was. Watch him single-handedly carry the Cardinals through the divisional round.
And with one, like you said, single-handedly because he had to catch everything with one hand because he had nobody to pass to.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like there's not – obviously the Giants-Vikings game, big upset there. I think Daniel Jones got himself a good contract just with that game
For
alone.
sure.
I mean, he's played a great season, but just with that game alone, he's earned himself a new contract.
And if Saquon Barkley can stay healthy, then the Giants are a different offense for sure. And let's be honest, Kirk Cousins, I don't know what the hype was this season, but he's never going to surprise me.
No.
He's going to surprise me if he wins, but this did not surprise me that they blew this opportunity.
Yeah, that's perfectly said. I was surprised to see him play that well for this long of the season.
Yeah.
But my sister, the one that was on the last episode, she's a Vikings fan. Her fiance is a Vikings fan.
Oh, sorry about that.
Well, they're on the same train. They're not Kirk Cousins fans. I don't know. He's good, but that's probably all I could give him.
Yeah.
I don't really have
he's
like
good. He's a regular season quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
And some would argue not even a primetime regular season quarterback.
Yeah, he's definitely not primetime.
They,
He's 1 p.m. or nothing.
They won, 11 games this season that were one possession?
Yep.
That's tough, but you got to do it when it matters most.
Yep. And especially if there's a class where you're going to try and look for, a new quarterback, a franchise quarterback, these next two are going to be ridiculously good.
Oh, for sure.
You got, obviously this year, you got Stroud, Young, Levis, which I don't think that they'd be able to get Young because he's going to be top 3, no doubt. But it's like you trade some of your picks, you throw a package with Kirk, a couple first-rounders, maybe a couple other players in there, and you instantly go from having like they would have like a bottom 14 pick to now having like a probably top 15 pick.
Oh, for sure.
And so now's the time, or next season is the time, because next season it's like Caleb Williams. I think Michael Penix could be entering the draft next year, or he's eligible to.
I'd say so, yeah.
And Quinn Ewers, I think, may be in there. But I saw a graphic. It was like quarterbacks that could be entering next year's draft, and it's like you got 2 prime years to match Justin Jefferson with a good quarterback, because that's what you got to worry about.
And he deserves it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get him a good quarterback, there's no reason for him to want to stay.
Yep. And then obviously they got to fix the defensive problems, because that defense was bad.
That was tough, yeah.
That was bad defense. But I don't know. It's the NFC. It wasn't like anything too wild to watch. It was like I expected the Buccaneers to lose.
Might have also labeled Daniel Jones a bust too early too.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely guilty of that.
Oh, me too, for sure.
I give that dude a lot of crap because I don't know. I just was like
They didn't really have a team around him, and I feel like nobody realized that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Saquon was always hurt, so that's gonna hurt play action passes and stuff that really opens up the offense. So
yeah, no doubt.
He never really got a fair chance yet.
Yep. You think Jaguars got a chance to pull off the upset?
After the wild card weekend, I'd say they got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's not a very good one, but I'd say they got a chance. After seeing the Chiefs tornado play, whatever you want to call that, they're playing with people now. So I think they're pretty much a lock for the AFC Championship, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Do you think they got a chance?
I mean, I think the Jaguars, like you said, they got a chance, but I really don't know how big of a chance it is.
Right.
Because not that Justin Herbert's ridiculously good, don't get me wrong, but Mahomes is on a different level. He's
for sure.
a completely different guy. And if you throw 4 picks in – no. Yeah, he threw 4 picks in the first half. If you throw 4 picks in the first half, you're losing. You are –
the Chiefs will be up 50-0.
Yeah, you will lose that game. And then they will continue to put like 30 more points on in the second half just to make sure like you're done. And so they have a chance, but it really just depends on how careful they are with the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Because they played each other earlier this season, and I think it was like a 10-point game or something.
Game, yeah.
And the Jaguars had a lot of miscues in that game, so it's like I don't know. Maybe they clean their game up and it's
There's opportunity for it.
yeah.
But like
no
you
doubt.
said, there's Mahomes, there's Josh Allen and Burrow, and there's a big dip
Yeah.
between the rest of the quarterbacks. And Trevor Lawrence will probably be at the top of the league one day, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not yet.
Yep. Did you see the? I think the average age of quarterbacks in the playoffs now is like 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, I saw that. That's wild.
It's crazy, and I mean, I don't know. I guess if you think about it, there really aren't that many old quarterbacks in the NFL that are
That's a
like
good point.
successful. I mean, you got Tom, you got Aaron.
But did we really call him successful this year? Because
Yeah,
that was rough to watch.
yeah, that was a very bad offense to watch. Bringing up Aaron, actually, that's a great segue. Where do you think he's going to go this offseason?
Man, if he hasn't left Green Bay by now, I don't think he's going to leave.
Yeah.
So he either retires or he stays in Green Bay because you had all the opportunity in the world to leave last year. You
Mhm.
weren't happy then. The situation hasn't really changed any. They're not putting pieces around you besides getting you your favorite player in Randall Cobb. But
Yeah.
that's about it. Jordan Love is going to be playing soon, so
Yeah.
I think it's time for him to hang it up. But, I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. Who are you to tell him to hang it up? So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if he wants to come back, more power to him. But I don't think he's going anywhere but Green Bay.
No, I don't think so either. Which is partially why I feel like an idiot now for even bringing that up, because I was just telling my dad yesterday I'm so sick of talking about Aaron Rodgers because every year, like the past 3 or 4 years, he's done this. Oh, I don't like it in Green Bay. All right, leave.
Yeah.
No, I'm back for another year.
I feel like he just wants to be heard.
Yeah.
He goes on a bunch of podcasts and, well, that's funny to mention now, but
Yeah.
goes
We got Aaron Rodgers coming in now.
goes on a bunch of interviews and I think he just wants to be heard. He's not doing well, so he just wants to make a headline at this point, and staying in Green Bay is not going to do that, so he's got to do it some other way.
Yeah, I agree. So, I actually was wanting to do some wild card trivia with you. Would you want
All
or
right.
playoff trivia? Would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely. I'll probably
right,
be
cool.
bad, but we can do it.
Hey, it's better than me. I went through some of these questions and I was like, I have no clue.
Oh, goodness.
All right, first question. I can't say his name. Washington football team, Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
True or false? Did they play in 3 Super Bowls in the 80s?
In the 80s, I would say true, just because it doesn't sound like something that would be the case.
Okay. This is like a whole quiz, so
Oh.
we'll get the results at the end. So which
Thought you
team?
already had the answers.
I wish I did. Which team was the first to lose 4 consecutive Super Bowls?
The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I know that one's right. Which team won Super Bowl 3?
Super Bowl 3. The Jets, I believe.
Yeah, I think
Joe
that
Namath?
one's who it is.
The guarantee? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Jets. The Bears defeated what team in the Fog Bowl in the '88 playoffs? Do you want me to give you the options? That'd probably be better.
Sure.
Eagles, Patriots, Rams, or the 49ers?
In the 80s?
Mm-hmm. So that
I was-
probably would have been around that time of that defense, the good defense that they had.
The Patriots was actually the first thing that came to my mind, so I'm just going to go with that.
All right. I don't know this one either. I think it's the Eagles, but I have no clue. What team entered the '87 playoffs with the record of 13-2? It's the
80.
Broncos, Commanders, 49ers, or the Bears.
I'm going to go with the Broncos.
What team shut out the Cowboys in the second round in 1985? The Bears, the Rams, the Commanders, or the 49ers?
The Bears, I would almost guarantee, because I'm pretty sure they
That's-
won the Super Bowl
Yeah, that's who
in
they won the Super
1985.
Bowl. So I would agree with you. That's what I'm thinking too. The Commanders or the 49ers appeared in the NFC Championship game every year from the 81 season to the 94 season. True or false?
I would say true. They were both very
Yeah.
talented and heralded teams back then.
The Raiders played in 5 consecutive AFC Championship games in the 70s. True or false?
That was around the time John Madden was coaching, I believe, so I would say true.
How many times did the Rams appear in the NFC Championship game from 1970 to 1990? The options are 7, 3, 0, or 9.
From when?
1970 to 1990.
I would say 3.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So, oh, cool. So, you actually did pretty good on these.
Sick.
Wait,
I don't have to change careers. That's good to know.
never mind.
Oh,
Sorry,
never mind. I
lied.
did bad.
I saw the first 3 and I was like, nice. So, you got the first one right. True, the Commanders did play in 3 Super Bowls in the 80s. It was against the Dolphins, Raiders, and the Broncos. And obviously the Bills one was correct. They were the first to lose 4 straight. The Jets did win Super Bowl 3. And this is kind of where we hit
Oh,
the bad streak.
I do got to change careers.
The Bears defeated what team in the Fog Bowl? You said the Patriots. The answer was the Eagles. So, what team entered with a record of 13-2 in the 1987 playoffs? You said the Broncos. The answer was the Niners. Did the Niners win that year?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. What team shut out the Cowboys in the second round in the 85 playoffs? You said the Bears. I was thinking the Bears too. The correct answer was the Rams. Which, I don't know. I don't know my Rams history, so maybe they were like that in 85 and I just didn't know.
I thought it was closer to the 90s that they were like that, but I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too. The Commanders or the Niners appeared in the NFC Championship game every year from the 81 season to the 94 season. You said true. Correct answer was false. But it was almost. One of the 2 teams played in the game from 81 to 94, except in 85 when the Bears beat the Rams. So that's pretty good. All but 1 year.
And I had that answer in the rest of the quiz. And I was not paying attention.
So we got the Raiders played in 5 consecutive AFC Championship games in the 70s. We got that one right. You said true. And the one after that was, how many times did the Rams appear in the NFC Championship game from 1970 to 1990? You said 3. The answer was 7. Wow. I really need to read up on my Rams history.
I guess I do too.
I didn't know they were like that. I didn't know they could win without buying a team.
I certainly did not either.
So, we're getting near the end of it. I just got a last few questions about, sports, and then we'll get to the soup part.
Sounds great.
So, one of my last sports questions is if there was one sport so first we'll do one sport that you'd want to do play-by-play for. What would it be?
Basketball, because I feel like every play has the potential to be a very exciting play. And I feel like football, even though that's probably the 1A and 1B for me, football, I feel like usually there's not a potential for every play to be exciting. Like if they're on the 5-yard line, you're probably not going to get a big play. So I would say basketball.
Okay. And if there was one sporting event out of any of them, not just basketball, that you would want to do, you'd want to broadcast for, which event would it be?
I would say the college basketball national championship.
That's a good one.
Because I feel like that there's no better environment than the Final Four.
Yeah.
They always make it huge. Obviously, there's college fans I think are the best fans in the world and the craziest fans in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people from all over the world, all over the country, ready to play, and it's usually a fun game.
Yeah. If you could just broadcast, it would be so cool to just broadcast 4 games of the entire tournament. If I could just do 4 games, I'd be happy because of those 4, at least 2 are going to come down to the final minute.
Oh, for sure.
There's hardly, at least that I can think of, there's hardly any 7+ point wins.
Mm-hmm.
As in the early rounds, especially.
Oh, in the early rounds, that's my favorite time of the year.
Exactly. That's
As
the
a
best.
sports fan, I cannot wait.
We're getting close, and I'm getting excited. Kentucky finally seems like they're
They're doing
possibly
okay.
finding their groove.
Yeah. If Cal beats his stubborn ways, we'll be okay. But he's against them sometimes.
Wheeler played. All I'm gonna say is this: Wheeler didn't play against Tennessee.
Yeah.
We won.
Mm-hmm.
Upset, huge upset. Wheeler played 11 or 12 minutes the other night against Georgia. We won.
One possession in the second half, and we outscored them by 22.
That's all I'm gonna say.
If the numbers I heard were right, and I believe they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
We can leave it at that. That's
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say, Cal. If you're listening to this, that's all I gotta say. Just gotta.
Definitely listening to this.
Yeah, most definitely. He's gonna text me and be like, "Dude, take this down. I'm tired of the severe Wheeler."
He's gonna block us right now.
Yeah. All right. Soup time.
All right, man. Listen. I don't drive, so I couldn't go to my original spot, which was Olive Garden, to get the chicken and gnocchi soup, which is you have to try sometime if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best soup I've ever had.
I've never heard of that.
And I was so excited to get it because I thought I would be the winner.
Yeah.
And now I am relegated to my second option, which is potato soup from Firehouse.
I love potato soup.
And I got you some crackers.
Oh, thanks, man.
And your own spoon and your own bowl.
You don't want any?
Oh, I got my own bowl.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
And it's still pretty. It's still kind of warm.
Yeah, it feels great, man. I'm excited for this. So what? Wait, what was the soup you said? The Olive Garden one?
The chicken and gnocchi soup. It's like I don't know if you've ever had chicken and dumplings, but
yeah,
it's like that.
Okay.
But it's so much better because chicken and dumplings is usually not like a soup, and this time it's a soup and the broth is just excellent.
So have you had this a lot before?
This one,
potato soup?
Second option, a few times, and I like it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they can skimp you on the potato chunks. Yeah.
I think that's that's always so good. I've heard people say they don't like potato chunks, but I think potato chunks makes any meal better.
Oh yeah, especially potato soup.
It smells really good.
Looks like they skimped us this time too.
Passes the smell test for sure. I like it. That's good. It's really good. I think. All right, so it's got good taste. It's got good consistency too. It's not really watery, but it's not too thick. The spice, it's got a decent amount of spice. It's got pepper in there. I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
I'll take it for my second option. Absolutely.
Very good.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it very much because I was scrambling and then I thought, oh yeah, Firehouse has a pretty good potato soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really good. Huge. For anyone who ever comes on after this, potato soup is you're gonna get a really good grade just with potato soup. No matter what else is in it. Big tomato soup or potato soup guy.
I don't know if I'm the only one to have brought you your own bowl, but I don't know.
That's a big win.
I feel like that's a win in my book.
That is a huge win.
Sorry, guys.
Just gotta take second place, I guess.
It's not an original idea if you do it now, so future guests, don't get excited.
They'll just have to they'll have to go on and be like, yeah, I'm copying Alex. Brought you your own bowl.
I'm gonna trademark it.
You patented the idea of bringing me my own bowl. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, man. You know,
I appreciate you having me.
Good stories. Got to talk about sports. That's always nice.
Always.
And got really good soup.
It's a fun time.
Really good grade too. So it's a good day
when
it happens. You know, all on the
I
same
love
day.
great grades.
So thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Do you have any last remarks you want to make? Whether it's inspiring story.
I guess I could say that just to go back on my college story, just to never give up on your dreams, because no matter how late in life they are, as long as you're living your dreams, you're going to be happy. And I'm in a wheelchair for those who don't know. So there are really no limitations to what you can and cannot do.
That's good, man. I think that's really good. It's a great way to end the episode. I think that's probably the best way.
Well, thank you.
So, thanks for coming on, man. Thank you guys for listening, and make sure to tune in to some of the Norse Code Radio broadcasts of the basketball soon.
Oh, yeah.
Because me and Alex and some other friends are going to be doing that.
Before we forget you all when we're famous.
Yeah. Before I end up stopping this podcast because I'm just so tired of dealing with people that aren't famous.
And we're changing our phone numbers, too.
Yeah, and my name, because I just don't want anyone to know who
I'm
I
leaving
am.
the chair behind, too.
So thank you guys for listening, and leave a review about what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.